Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. This is the Fireteam Zero Showcase playthrough. We are in part number 2, and in the last video we went through an entire first round. Now, it took a whole video for us to go through it, and I said it might speed up, but there is quite a bit of tactics in this game, so we'll see how fast these turns go. I'll do my best to kind of go, but there is a lot of strategy involved in staying alive. That's the first and foremost thing I want to do is actually make it through this playthrough and actually stay alive. It's a tough one because there are no walls and barriers to hide behind. So really, at the end of the last video, we had one of these little wonderful corrupted animals land in our spot with our squad. Now, one of the things I didn't do, and this is something that somebody else mentioned, a couple people actually mentioned on the prior video, so I want to thank them both for mentioning it, is that Patrick, one of our specialists, actually allows a character within range 1. You can actually perform a search action as a free action, meaning when we originally moved into this area as a group and cleared all the enemies, he had not come into this area yet. We could have actually searched this particular token before this enemy came in. Now, normally, most game rules, as of right now, you couldn't search this token because he's here. Because I'm playing solo, I'm going to retroactively do this because you guys caught it and I missed it. So I'm going to go ahead and actually search this token for free because this monster would have been further back and would have come in later. We'll leave him there for now. We're going to go ahead and search this for free by flipping it over. So that's kind of the cool part of it there. We're going to go over to our Recon deck, which I'm really excited to check out and see whether or not there was anything worthwhile in terms of we're trying to find essentially discovery cards really at the end of the day. So hopefully we get one of those. Days. That does not sound like a discovery card. We got an event card. It says you clutch your head as a deafening howl cuts through you. Mercifully, it stops before your eardrums burst. You look around in a daze. What were you doing a moment ago? You can't remember. Discard one card at random. Ugh, gross. Okay, so the only way to play this fairly, this particular card, is I would have done the search with the last person in the play turn order. So Abe went first, then it was Don, then it was Frank. It would have been Frank who would have been affected by this. So we're going to go into Frank Two Penny's cards essentially, and we're going to toss one of his 3 cards, I should say, away. So he's got a direct hit card, he's got a M7 grenade launcher, an M7 grenade launcher. We might as well toss one of these two, just really depends on the reaction at the bottom. One says play before an ally performs an attack to increase it by 1, and then one says play an ally is moving to allow to ignore difficult terrain. The difficult terrain one sounds great, and the reason why I want to use that is because look at all the difficult terrain here with an orange highlighted areas everywhere. So I'm going to hold on to that one and get rid of the attack bonus one. That might come back to haunt me, we'll see. But now we are able to progress. Now this Recon card that I pulled is discarded, and it's not one of the 2 that we still need to complete the other objective in the game. And there's a different objective for actually repairing the ferry. We're trying to find 2 discovery cards that are going to give us the intel for this. We still haven't found them. So let's continue to search for them. All right, so we're going to begin truly right now, the beginning of the new round. What do you do at the beginning of a brand new round is you do what you didn't do in the first round, which is you actually rotate the first player token. So this token is going to move from Abe to Don, Sonny, Hymel. So he's going to be the new first player. From there, we're going to go ahead and decide whether we want to play any tactics on the board. This is where things get interesting. So Don, Sonny, Hymel has the only individual actually who has tactics cards. And these tactic cards are always found on the bottom portion of the cards, at least from what I'm seeing. And they say crazy things like this. Tactical response, kill up to 4 minions in elite anywhere on the battlefield. I could kill off 4 different enemies anywhere I want right now. Could be really useful because I could not only kill the one in my spot, I could clear the 3 up that are coming for me and have full ability for movement this turn, which might not be a bad idea. The other one I have says all of the heroes may draw up to the hand side of 7, and that's not bad, but I think I'll hold on to that one for later. I think I'm going to do this kill 4 minions and elites anywhere on the battlefield. That sounds really useful right now. So we're going to toss that. He's going to do a tactical response. He does it right away. We choose 4 enemies to kill off. I'm going to blow up the one in our spot. I'm killing this guy here. And I'm definitely going to kill off the 2 right here because these are the closest ones to us. We've blown them all up. And just so you guys are aware, that particular tactics card is called Prepared Battlefield. And that just makes sense because we're preparing the battlefield and we're kind of he was able to give us some intel. We were able to wipe them out a lot quicker than normal. And now heading into the draw action cards section of the tactics phase. So we're going to go ahead and draw cards. We're going to take our Abe, our Sarge here, he's got 3 cards. We're gonna draw him up to 5, so he gets a grenade toss as well as a reaction card there. Another grenade toss and a different reaction. So we got 5 cards to use with him. We'll talk about that later. Don was the one who not only is our first player now, but was the one who played a tactical response. Because he played a tactical response, he does not get to draw up to 5 cards. That is the only downside of playing a tactics card, is you have to continue on with the cards you had from the prior round. Unless, of course, there's a game-altering effect that allows you to pick up more cards. Frank Twopenny Eaton, he has 2 cards, so he's going to need to pick up 3 more, so let's do that. So we're going to grab, oh, headshot. That's a powerful shot. That is insane. 6 dice. Hydrostatic shock and another hydrostatic shock. That sounds great. So now we've got some serious firepower with our Marksman. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and actually begin the hero phase, which is going to start off with Don, Sonny, Hymel. So based on the player token here, we'll take a quick look at his focus card. It says, as an action, you may allow an ally in your location to draw 2 cards. So I could actually, as an action, decide to do that. That actually might make sense. And now that I'm thinking about it, at least I'm looking at this, what I want to try to do is find a way strategically to actually be able to get my guys to move from where they currently are to one of these potential search locations. And I just don't know which one yet. As of right now, the closest one to them is 1-2 away. You have to go through difficult terrain, so net regular movement of 2 will only get you this far. So we need to use, or at least I should say Don, which would be this guy here, needs to use or find a way to avoid difficult terrain. So the question becomes, do we have anything from either maybe Frank or Abe that can play as a reaction that can somehow give me the ability to get through difficult terrain easily? So let's take a look through Frank's to start, because he's got just the most recent cards. Oh my gosh. Okay, well that made it really easy, because Hydrostatic Shock has an attack up here, and down below the reaction says play when an ally is moving to allow them to ignore difficult terrain. Perfect. So it has to be within range 2, has to be an ally. We're set. We're all in the same spot. So I'm going to play this card. The other ones you can see are not always the same, even though the card's the same. The reaction is different, but we're not going to use it for now, so we'll skip that. But right here, we're going to play this. So thank you, Frank Twopenny Eaton. You are going to help out Don to actually be able to get through this particular area. Now, just before we play this reaction, we're going to actually have, and it says here, play when an ally is moving. So I'm not going to move just yet. I'll just remember that that's there. First, I'm going to do Don's action, and Don's action is going to be spent to give 2 cards to some player in play. It can't be himself. It has to be either Abe or Frank. So I'm going to give it to, Abe, our Sarge. I think, actually, you know what? No, let's change that. I'm going to give it to Frank, because Frank's going to lose a card for me. So I'm going to let Frank grab 2 more cards. So it just says right now, as an action, you may allow an ally in your location to draw 2 cards. So he just gets 2 more cards to his hand, which is great news. Then, of course, I'm going to actually go ahead and make this movement. Let me get the right card up from here. I want to keep this to the top, because this is the one I'm going to end up using to help out Don. So there, he's got 7 cards now. It's crazy. So now we're going to go ahead and do our movement with Don. Don is going to take along our friend Patrick, who can help with the search here and reconning this number 10. So we're going to go 1. We're allowed to ignore difficult terrain because of that reaction card that I'm going to play right now. So thank you, Frank, for playing this reaction card, which is now discarded. So that's going to allow me to go 1, as well as I'm bringing the specialist, and 2, and now we're inside this particular spot. Great news is that we know just from earlier on in the video that Patrick has the ability, if you're within range 1 of the specialist, you can perform a search action for free. So we are going to search number 10. That's awesome. And we're going to go ahead and grab a Recon card and see what happens. This one says, Eye of the Storm. You find yourself in a pocket of calm. Amidst the chaos, a clear path opens up before you. You may immediately move to any adjacent location. Ooh. So it's not, again, it's not an objective or discovery card, which is what we need. But hey, we can move to an adjacent location if I so choose. One of the advantages to not moving is if I'm sitting on a spawn, the spawns can't occur there. So as of right now, I'm securing 10 and I'm securing 12, which is great because I've really almost got control of this tile. And I'd really like to attempt, if it's at all possible, to try to get some of these guys to this one. I don't know if that's going to be doable. Seems pretty far away. They need 3. I don't know if I can generate that. But I'm going to go with that. So I'm actually going to, I said I may move. I'm not going to. I'm going to sit put. I also know there's a monster sitting over here that's lurking over here in the corner. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But yes, let's go ahead and say that we're pretty happy with what happened there with Don's turn and move along. So we're going to move over to Frank, who's next in the turn order, going down the track from Don to Frank. Now, Don's focus card says, once per round, you may perform a bullet attack against a monster as a reaction when it moves into your location. Ooh, so this is something that I actually forgot and could have used. Let me see here. Once per round, you may perform a bullet action against a monster's reaction when it moves. Oh, cool. So I could have actually used opportunity fire even at the beginning of this episode against the one monster that was sitting in this space. Something to keep aware of, that my marksman is really good at having an opportunity fire. So if a monster happens to jump into my space, I can take a pot shot at it before it does any damage. And it's a reaction, so I get to do it right away, which is really cool. So I want to keep that marksman in mind for our defense. Okay, so what may make sense then, now that I'm thinking about that, is to actually have the marksman head off with Don. Because if I can get to him here, then the plus side would be if this monster happens to get in this space, I can take a pot shot using my marksman first. And that would be pretty cool. Shoot. Yeah, that would actually be perfect. I'm just trying to think. Now, is there any way that I can get my guys over to this spot? And I would hope to be able to get these guys over there would be my hope. So I need to get Abe over there, because does Frank have anything reaction-wise that he can play to help out Abe? I need something that can generate additional movement. Nope. Kill all enemies. Kill all minions and elites occupying spawn points in any one sector. That's pretty powerful at some point. That's a tactics card. I didn't actually realize that. We pulled that out from his hand, although I didn't have that at the start of this turn, but that's a really powerful one. Crazy card in general, really. This allows me to ignore difficult terrain, but it's not going to be a problem. This is not difficult terrain. This is covered terrain. This is just a regular spot. So we don't have to worry about difficult until we move into here. So I don't even know. This, I might have to use it, but I don't know how this is going to work just yet. Play after monster attacks. Okay, so I need to allow to move through difficult terrain to get into this area, but I still need something to generate that one extra movement. I'll check with Abe, who's my leader, to see whether he has cards that could help me. Nope, that's for brawling. Play before a minion or elite attacks to burn it from attacking. Nope, don't need that. Play before an ally. Bullet attack. Play before a minion activates. Nope. Doesn't appear like we have anything that can jumpstart us past. Now let me just check my leader's focus, because I want to make sure I'm not missing anything off Abe's focus. It says once per round you may perform an attack action against a monster as a reaction when it moves in your location. Oh wow, so I forgot about that. I gave that ability for Abe and Frank to both be able to handle or be able to help with monsters that come into their spots. That's a really handy focus to have in this situation. So anyway, we're not going to be able to get to this spawn point regardless. There's nothing I can do about that. So what does Frank want to do then? If I can't make it here, it's best to just stick together. Frank does have the ability to shoot at a distance of, the highest range shot I have is 2. So if I can put him in a position where he can actually help not only this spot, but this spot, that would be the best. So as of right now, Frank is here. I could go 1 and then 2. And by putting him here, he's 2 away from this spot, and he's also within range of this spot. So he can give cover to anybody and play reactions as necessary. Although he can't do any attacks right now. This is tough. But I want him to kind of be heading north, because I think at the end of the day we want to head north. We want to make use of this elevated terrain advantage, which gives us an extra attack die later on, and it's very empty up north. So let's head that direction while also giving kind of perimeter defense to our group down here. So we're going to go with that for Don's turn. So he's not really doing much of an action. Yeah, there's nothing else really I can do there that's going to perform an action. So I can't search. I couldn't attack. So his turn's done. So now we're going to move over to Abe. And technically I could have actually with him taken the specialist as well, but I didn't choose to. I think Abe's going to probably do the same thing and just head off with the marksman, and we'll kind of just stick together. Or actually what I could do, no, I'm not going to do that actually. I'm going to keep Abe here to secure this spot. I'm going to leave everything as is, because right now I'm controlling the battlefield. I have 4 enemies to spawn. I'm controlling 2 spawn points. The only possibility is that things show up here. If they do that, they're showing up at the end of the turn, and my marksman should be okay. So things should be all right. I do have a couple monsters that have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's pretty far away. They're not getting to me anytime soon. So I think strategically I'm good there. So we've kind of covered that first tile. We'll stick with this, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to say that my entire first turn is done. Let me just make sure there's nothing that Henry can do. Yeah, it's just rerolling attack dies. It's no good. So we're all good there. All right, let's move into the threat phase. So we're going to advance the threat token to 3. We're 1 away from drawing our first twist. Yikes. Okay, next up we're going to activate our monsters. We only have 2 on the board, so we'll just do these in order. So we're going to activate this guy right here. He's going to move up to his speed, which is 2. I'll move this objective card out of the way. He's going to obviously head towards us, and he's ignoring any difficult terrain, so he gets to here. He's now going to roll his activation die. If he happens to land this walking symbol, then we've got trouble coming our way. So let's see what happens. Blank. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm waiting for this thing to come back into focus there, and there we go. Blank. So he's not going anywhere. He's stuck right here, and this individual does not have any range based on the Corrupted Animal card, which is insanely hard to see based on the lighting. But right there, you can see range 0. So he cannot shoot me from a distance, thank goodness, and he didn't roll the trophy, which would have allowed him to. So he's stuck right here. Perfect. This guy way over here is going to move 2 to start anyway, so he's going to try to get as close to me as possible, probably heading towards my marksman, so 1 and then 2. And then we're going to roll for him and see whether or not he moves any further. Oh, he got the extra range, so he can shoot 1 away, but that's still too far to do any damage. Done. That's awesome. So nothing else bad happens there. Next up, we're going to spawn things. So this is where controlling the battlefield made a lot of sense. So we're going to go ahead and roll for each particular enemy that needs to come back on the board. So I'll just put them all, I'll put them off to the side right here, and we'll roll for each one as they come in. So here's the first one. Landed on a 3. Where is 3? Please not be any close. Oh, perfect. It's way in the back corner here. That's great. Rolling for the next one. It's a 1. Where is 1? Oh, awesome. Way up here in the corner. Perfect. Keep them as far away from me as possible. 5. Oh, man, I am doing good here. I'm putting them all over the edges. This is awesome. And another 5. Look at that. That's the kind of layout you want. So there's your overall look of the entire battlefield right now. So we're really controlling this first tile. We've got monsters kind of sporadic. Actually, they're dead even with 2 in each tile section, so that's really cool. But we're not in any immediate danger, so that's good. That's pretty much it. And now we just move right back to the tactics phase. So actually we can go ahead and we'll just start off the beginning of the next round, essentially. We may not get through the whole thing, but we'll start. So let's go ahead and start off with our starting or determining the first player. So obviously moving down to Frank, who will start off first. Do we want to play any tactics cards? That's the question. This time I'm kind of debating not, because I just don't think my guys are going to get to any. The only one that's guaranteed to get to is this one. I could potentially get these guys here as well, depending on how things go. So it's really like these are my possibilities, I think, this turn, for the most part. Now, if I was to use my satchel charge, I think the satchel charge just allows me to draw a lot of extra cards. The other thing, too, is I think because of all the enemies on the board, we're going to want everyone to draw up to 5. So we're not going to want to lose anything there. So, and of course, if you already have more than 5 cards in your hand, you can't draw any further. So it's only going to... Let me see if I have anything with Frank, because he's got quite a few cards in his hands. He does have 1 tactics. Oh, right, he's got... Kill all minions and elites occupying spawn points in any one sector. Oh, okay. So we can pick a sector. So we could say like this sector over here, kill both of them. Or we could say over here, kill just this one because he's in a spawn point. Or over here, it would only be the number 1. So really the best one would be to kill these 2 just to thin the herd. But to be honest, they're so far away. It's probably not the best time to do that, I don't think. And tactics-wise, I think that's... I don't know. There's no real major advantage to that right now. This satchel charge is the 7 hand limit, which we don't necessarily need right now, although it would be nice later when things get a little bit more sketchy. So yeah, I'm not going to end up playing any tactics this turn, so we'll skip right past that. We're going to move right to draw action cards. We know that Abe is full at 5. Don is not, because he played a tactics last turn and needs to get drawn up to 5 cards. So we'll go ahead. He got a haymaker and a reaction, a grenade toss, a smoke grenade, and a haymaker, and a pistol whip. Okay, so we got some options with him. And then Frank is definitely over 5. I think he's got 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's good. No extra drawing for him. Okay, so now we begin, and this is probably where we'll stop. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I'll see you in part number 3. We'll start it off in the hero phase. Until next time, guys, keep on rolling solo.